All right, and we'll go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Top Deck Heroes. Tonight we have a special guest host, Fernando Aragon. Fernando,
Howdy.
why don't you introduce yourself to the people who may not know you yet?
Uh, Hold on. For some reason, I'm hearing music. Is it like an advertisement on?
You're probably getting a Twitch ad. You should probably mute the stream. I just got that too.
Okay. I was like, I got intro music. All right.
I'm not that special yet.
Oh,
One day,
man.
everyone will get intro music.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that was awesome.
Ooh.
All right. So, yeah, intro. That intro music threw me off. Uh, Name's Fernando. I've been playing UFS, I guess, since 2006. I only played in tournaments from like 2006 to like maybe May 2007, and then just started playing casually with my brother. But he continued playing, I think, till Fantasy Flight dropped it in about 2009, 2010, with his girlfriend at the time, now wife. So they played UFS for a while, but I'd play with them casually and pick up the cards and just kind of collect. And then got back into it, I guess 2014, went to the Atlanta PTC. And then the next tournament was 2015 at the Atlanta PTC. and then yeah, and then ever since then just been playing weekly, fun stuff.
What's your favorite deck you're playing right now?
Favorite deck right now. I like Time Man. I just took it apart,
Oh, yes.
but I'm building it off of air, and I was mainly because of Navos. No, I don't know. I feel like any deck that can run Navos should run Navos because it's just like you play it as a reversal, and they tap out to block it, or you play it on your turn or whatever. But I actually found that with Time Man, I was actually well, obviously the speed bump is great, right? With things like Air Slam, boost it, draw a card, and Tiger Kick. Um, but what I found was that I actually used the momentum uh, ability on my turn versus my opponent's turn. Like when I'm going for a big kill, I'm just like, okay, all checks get -1. I've got like 10 foundations in play. I'm just going to attack you like crazy. So it catches people off guard because they think I'm going to use it on their turn, but I'll actually just wait and use it on my kill turn, and that's
It's
been kind
it's
of fun.
probably hard. It's probably gonna be hard to get, but if you can borrow it from someone or whatever, there's a Neomax Ultra Rare that
Uh,
doesn't get its check hacked. You can't modify the check at all. And so if you
oh,
pull that trick, it's printed too low for 8. So with
okay.
Time Man, it's like if you do that trick, it's like a 7 low for 8. Gets in
Jeez.
there.
Wow. What's the name of it? You know?
It's Homura Hotogi. It's one of Yori's attacks. It's
Yeah,
his
it's
ultra
Okay.
rare.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta pick that up. And I guess I took Time Man apart because I wanted to try Jiffany Jamber on air,
Hey,
and that was pretty fun. I thought that was pretty neat, and built Jiffany off all, and I don't know, it wasn't as good as I thought it'd be.
yeah.
But
Sean kept on trying to get me to play her off of all. I'm like, nah, I don't like it.
yeah, it
Um,
just
I prefer
I mean, I
Void.
think
Air's
with
probably my next
Jiffany,
stop, but
with Jiffany, I think that the big story is you're not building around a character. Like I think in a lot of decks I build, I'm not. I like the character is almost secondary in a lot of cases because
mm,
I'll be building around some interaction with the cards that I'm putting in the deck. The character is important. Like Snake Man, obviously, you build around Snake Man.
hmm.
But
right.
like a Jiffany Jamber, especially like a Gemini Man, you're building around what your deck's actually doing with the cards that are in it, and then the characters, some extra spice. But Jiffany Jamber, if you just say, "Yeah, I'm going to build an all Jiffany Jamber deck," then we look at like UFS Ultra for all of the attacks. Like you're not gonna have a good
Yeah.
time. You have to know where you're going coming in.
Yeah. Do you think, I guess, Jiffany would, because it just seems like off symbols like air, evil, uh, you know, would I rather play an 8 hand size with 20 life, or do I want to play Gemini Man, which is 7 hand size, 19 life with all these abilities?
Um,
So I feel like maybe, yeah, the only way she's really good is in symbols where you don't have a 7 hand size character, maybe.
I
I
think
don't know.
um, if you're playing a deck that wants to hold on to things and build up stuff, like a Rain Flush deck, like I did with Void, Or if you just have a bunch of actions like Templar, if you're running Templar and Revoke and something else that you want to hold on to, I think the +1 hand size is worth it because you're playing that 7-hander that always has the Revoke essentially.
Yeah, and like
Gotcha.
being an 8-hand size means that, let's say you're playing Gemini Man and you don't draw Gemini Man. Now, like you get a build turn, you get a good build turn, say you build 4. Now your hand is like 3 attacks that you're going to block with. And if they attack you, you have to block with all 3 of those attacks. Whereas Jiffany Jamber, she'll have more leeway to both build her deck to have more special blocks like Templar, and she'll have more ability to hold on to attacks to be able to backswing with.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's the
she's
big
a,
difference.
yeah, she's good. I mean, eight hand size. I'm spoiled from back in the day. Like, I guess, when I first started playing, my first deck that I built was Vega from World Warriors. It was like,
Wait, Disney Vega?
Disney.
Wait, World
No.
Warriors. That's the good one.
It's
Yeah.
the 823
Yeah.
power up one.
E-commit power up. Yeah.
yeah, gosh, it was so good. Like, I built that, and I had 4 bow rushes in the deck, and it was just bow rush was just so good with it. But yeah, so 8 hand size with was it 23 or 24 life? I was like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
so good. And then of course there was the Dawn promo. That was what I think it was an 822, and then
22. 22 sounds right. And then just free, just completely
Yeah.
free.
He was my first fun deck. Fun for me, not
What?
for everyone else.
So like a fun deck is when you play Rush in your Jiffany Jammer deck, and then you play Not Over Yet after 12 attacks. That sounds like fun to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
My serious decks are like hard control decks, and my fun decks are aggro decks. It just
Okay.
happens to be that aggro sometimes is really, really good.
I would not want to have been a friend of yours if you were like when Slice Kicks was good and you're like, yeah, I'm playing Truog, let's go. Turn 1, play Evil Sparrow Playful Slice. I'm having fun.
Are you having fun?
That's why
Well,
I
that's
didn't
like-
play during that. I didn't play that because there was a times where I'm like, that's too asinine. That was a deck that decided no.
Yeah. Well, the most fun I ever had, and I know it wasn't fun for my opponents, was this chick right here.
Man.
I'm
Dude,
like,
Rose is a reason
Yes.
to play Old Dog's new tricks. She's so fun.
Yes.
I would literally have so much fun because it's like, all right, I'll check 2 and I'll choose this one. All right, reveal 2, ESP, I'll draw this. Like naming all these cards.
It's totally
Is-
fair.
You have so much
Yeah.
power over the outcome, unlike Rose in the storyline.
Speaking of Street Speaking of Street Fighter though, what's your favorite new license that we're getting?
That's a great question, and I thought about that when I saw Sean's questions, and really because I love Street Fighter, I love Mortal Kombat, but I think what I'm looking forward to the most is Johnny Cage. I just want a Johnny Cage card so bad, and
I don't care about Johnny Cage. I want the nutsack punch.
That's what everyone
Yes,
I want the
yes.
split
Everyone
punch.
wants that.
I want the the split punch, and then I want there to be an action. Quoting the movie where he says, when Goro crushed the sunglasses, and it's just called like, those were $500 sunglasses, a-hole. And I'm like, that would be the best action ever,
Oh my god. That's
So
that
Jasco, if you're watching, if you make the action, those were $500 sunglasses, a-hole. That's
We gotta get that. We gotta get Toasty. Toasty.
toasty.
yeah.
Dude,
So Johnny Cage, I'm looking forward to.
I might be more excited about Johnny Cage cheesy lines than I am about quick change the channel from Street Fighter. I mean, quick change the channel's pretty great.
Quick,
Like,
change the channel. Was it Zangief that said it in the movie?
Zangief, yeah.
Yeah,
the box topper has to be an action called Finish Him.
finish. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for that set to come out. It'll be good times.
All right.
And
Yeah, go ahead, finish.
oh no,
I was gonna say we should get to our main topic for
Sure.
tonight, and ways to grow UFS in the community. What are you two trying to do for growing UFS right now? Me, it's this show.
Me, I am building decks and not doing very much else. So, Fernando, how about you?
well, I guess I've been doing a lot recently. I'm fortunate enough to right now I have a job that's pretty flexible, and so I had so much fun at the Atlanta PTC in 2015, and my brother was there and my friend was there, and my brother and I we were talking about how much we enjoyed like 2006, 2007, where there was a weekly event every week where we could go and win promos, and uh, and just have a good time, and those tournaments back then they were like 7, 8 people. I mean, it's nothing grand, but there was something organized. So I really just wanted to focus on getting weekly events started, and then I wanted to have some content. Start creating content. I feel like content is great for any game, really, and I know any game that I'm interested in, whether video games, Magic, Star Wars, CCG, whatever. I like to read all I can. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, I, I'll start, some content, and so we've started some articles, and the feedback has been great from the community. People are submitting articles, and people love being interviewed, and it's just like it's so awesome how it's just been building so fast, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess you just build it by doing it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And where can you find these interviews?
You can find these interviews posted on superaragonbrothers.com and Super Aragon Brothers YouTube channel, which is still a baby, and I think we have like 10 subscribers. So if you have a YouTube account, you should probably subscribe to it.
That's something I should probably do.
Yeah, because our next guest is going to be Kevin Broberg.
It is.
It
Yeah.
Awesome.
Kevin Broberg just found
I'm
out.
Gabe.
Yeah. And then actually, I'm looking at the schedule, and right after him is Matt Hughes. Wow.
Oh, cool.
What a coincidence.
I
Alright.
know the other day I literally just like posted on the UFS Octagon group that hey, I don't have any decks built right now, but I was kind of like brew some and then like hang out on Skype, and then like for 6 hours or something like no, it might have been 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. I just hung out on Skype and had a rotating cast of people come in and just talk about UFS and stupid old stories and stuff, and it was great. And I actually built 2 decks that I probably wouldn't have built if I hadn't been doing that. Like I built a 90 card my deck because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I was like, yeah, I'll just put in 4 of all the attacks I think I might want to play and just see how it goes.
It sounds like it could be a good
Versatile.
show for you. If you had recorded it, you could call it like, like Kevin's UFS speed dating or something.
Oh man.
All right, 15 minutes. All right, now you're out. Somebody else. Deck ideas. I don't know. It seems like
That-
it'd be fun.
I came up
That
with
would
an
be fun.
awful Raiden deck the other night. I want to play the deck that Jesse never got around to, the Raiden Gutsman deck.
Yeah, ally deck? Oh,
Yeah, Ally Gutsman, Ally
Yeah.
Guts Cannon.
aren't there like 3 new allies in the set?
Yeah,
I know Rimonkun is a card.
there was some new card, but I was primarily looking at a bunch of the older stuff because I don't think there was many of the new ones actually at Earth.
Yeah,
Um,
it's Rimonkun, just that one.
Oh, damn yeah.
So it's +1 damage for each 2 non-unique face-up foundations with exactly 1 copy in your staging area.
But yeah, you can Surveyor and Guts Cannon every turn and slowly destroy
Hey.
their field.
Hey.
And then use all your other momentum you've been building up for Search Snake multiples, because why not?
Yeah, because
Hey.
multiples are never bad.
And if you want a combo on ally, there are 8 different ally assets you can play.
But enough of our terrible deck ideas.
Random brews, yeah, man. I
Yeah.
mean, I think random brewing is underrated. I think that there's a lot of cards in UFS, and that's one of the things that makes it great. I think is how much, even when you acknowledge up front, I don't think this is going to be a deck that will win a tournament. You can build a deck that will do something cool. It'll have some trick, and you can take it to a local and play it out, and like randomly knock someone's head in.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "What just happened? I don't know, but wasn't it cool?" They're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and I think that's why I love UFS so much. It's like I think I enjoy the deck building part more than the actual playing. Just kind of like I love UFS Ultra, but for some reason I just love going through my cards and being like, okay, this card and then this card. Oh, wait a second, Wing
Yeah.
Boomerang, in this ranged attack, and like I think when I saw the interaction between it was one of my first decks that I built after getting back into the game, and it was Elizabeth, and it was just with commons and uncommons. But I was like, wait, Hurricane Upper, give him momentum. I was like, now I play Ring Boomerang, and it's range trigger. I get that momentum multiple. I'm like, this is so good. You
Yeah,
know?
that's what I've been
So
doing for the past couple weeks with deck building. Is just when we got back from Gen Con, I just took a Ryu, and I didn't feel like going through all the figuring out to try and borrow stuff from Jeff when 3 other people were trying to borrow stuff from him. So I was like, I'm just gonna start sleeving cards until I get to 60, and it went 2-2.
Yeah, didn't you like turn one? Didn't you turn one kill someone?
I put them to 3.
wow.
That's a story. That's a story.
Yeah, it's not a story. I just check rolling 5s because that's what my character does, and then Valiant Assault is really good with him.
Yesterday, one of the guys at the tournament, we had a weekly tournament yesterday, and one of the guys played Ryu. I actually on the website I made a typo and put that he played Felicia because he's played Felicia literally every week, but he actually played Ryu.
Brought it to
And
Horizons.
yeah, and it was really interesting. Because I mean, just looking at the Ryu promo, I'm like, all right, it's pretty neat. You get to draw a card and that ability. You can stack your deck, and I'm like, okay, but I really didn't like think the idea through, right? But then playing against him, I was like, this is actually really good because like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
it's like
very strong.
yeah, and I wonder if he's gonna get some sweet support coming up. I mean, I don't know if we're getting new promo soon or what, but I'm really curious on what's coming up that would help.
I'm guessing, like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping that we get more Street Fighter stuff soon, but I think the original plan was Red Horizon was coming, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Red Horizon promos and then Street Fighter a little bit later on.
Hmm.
I wonder what you would actually build to support Ryu. Because you don't want to make more cards to go on top of your deck. Because he already does that. Maybe just like discard a card, just for no reason, just to turn down your hand size.
Discard outlet events, yeah, I would like that.
Maybe
Sure,
like
I guess
that.
Trish fits there.
Let's make another Rain Flush. That's something for him.
Fidel Rosso, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
if there was
Ooh, Fidel Rosso. Gosh.
if he had something that kind of worked like the champ card and like with Magic Bazaar Baghdad, maybe like a foundation where you like
Oh god, that'd be so
draw
good.
draw
That'd
2,
be
discard 3.
devastatingly good. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
so it's like
Tiffany Jamber?
yeah,
Just always
but
have
I don't
whatever.
know.
we,
That'd
we
be
already
awesome.
have a character that does that. That was the other champ card that no one got. Was
Yeah,
Bizarro Baghdad.
I would love that card. That's I want that card so bad. I don't know
Yeah.
how I get it, but I want it. And
Either we hope that he makes a post on the forums, or we wait 3 months and start throwing rappers at Jason.
gotcha.
I'm betting it's
Many
gonna be we're
rap-
just throwing rappers at Jason. But back to UFS. Fernando, what are you doing to help grow players in the area? We've been growing a few people a little bit, but you seem to be having a little bit better chances.
So, really, my strategy has been, and I know not everyone can do this, but give away stuff to get them started. Kind of and I've told Sean multiple times, and I think Matt, you may have seen all the orders that I've placed with Rochester CCG, like common and uncommon sets in the past. I don't know, like year and a half, 2 years. But like I would just pick up all these sets and I just give them away. UFS is in the Jasco era, it's in such a great place where every like common and uncommon is like playable, and you can brew so much with just a common and uncommon set. So to introduce somebody to the game, with a demo deck, whether it be the Mega Man or whatever, make your own, common uncommon decks and play, and then go, oh yeah, by the way, boom, here you go. Here's common uncommon set of King of Fighters and Rise of the Masters. Have fun,
Yeah.
And I would say the success rate of that has been good because there's no cost for the player, right? I mean, it's just, hey, this game is fun. Now I have some cards to look through, and then just just trust that excitement to build happens, and then by having weekly events, be like, hey, you know what? come out to the weekly. You don't need to be a superstar. Don't have to be a rock star. You don't have to, have a deck full of ultra rares. Come out, have a good time. You'll get summer heat, presidential barbecue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. So I know I've heard the advice before that if you do a demo, make sure that they walk away with something in their hands that they can
Yeah.
some product to walk away with, and that's really interesting to actually give them a big like 100 cards or whatever of a complete set. So
Yeah.
do you give these away just at demo days or something at your stores, or just walk up to people on the
Whenever.
street?
No, not be friends. Yeah, demo days or at the tournament itself, like on the weeklies. There's been other card tournaments going on, and people will kind of come walk over. Oh, what are you guys playing? And like, oh, it's UFS. It's like, are you interested? Like, there's been many times I'll just jump out of a game and just be like, I'll teach you right now. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
what? There's somebody here. Don't move. I'm just gonna.
We got to start doing that more.
No, I've done that. I've done that once or twice at Millennium, but actually, we already one thing we already do is that whenever we have someone who's playing, we do prize packs at the end of each night. So like winner gets like 3 or 4 packs. Everyone gets at least 1 pack is like guaranteed payout, and then all of us who are like experienced players who have like a set of mostly ultra rares in these sets, we'll just take our coins and give them to whoever the new guy is, whoever's the newest player even, and we could organize that more, and we could say, we're just going to stack these up, and then you run a demo, you grab a handful of cards out of the box and just hand them to them. That might be better.
Yeah, what I should probably do, if we actually organize a demo day, I have gigantic boxes of King of Fighters sitting at my house. I could just bring that in and just be like, here, go nuts.
Yeah, just dig in, build a deck out of this. Have fun.
Now we just gotta organize that day.
Yeah, in the demo days, there, and because I know some other players have started doing demo days in other areas, and my biggest advice is don't get discouraged. I mean, even if you there's only one person or two people that you showed the game to, well, that's still 1 or 2 more than we had the previous day.
Yeah,
and
that's just a seed. Not every seed's gonna flower, but
yeah,
definitely.
and I think with the demo days, I think our strongest one, I think there was like 5 or 6 people that actually sat down and played multiple games. And then there's been others where I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, and then like Andy, my friend will come up and we'll play some games, and then if somebody comes up, we'll drop the game and teach them. And so with demo days and also with weeklies, the big thing is when organizing events, and this is I guess advice to everyone, is just don't get discouraged. I mean, sometimes you're going to have 11 people that show up, sometimes you're going to have 5. That's just the way it is. Everybody's busy, there's life. So those days where you have 5, 6 people come out, well, that's not failure. That's still a weekly event, and everybody had a fun time, and still planting that seed because other people are seeing that, hey, there's a weekly event for this game, let me go ahead and give it a shot, type of thing. So
now for the second most important person to try convince the game, the store owner, getting him to pick up UFS. How'd you get him, your store owner, to pick it up?
Yeah, so it's interesting, and we actually so we have another weekly event on Fridays now at Galactic Quest. It's another store. So now we have 2 weekly events, which I'm super pumped about.
That's awesome. So you're usually based out of Raven's Nest?
No, Wasteland.
Or
yeah,
am I just like completely out of the loop here?
Yeah, no, I'm I live in Wilburn. It's close to Duluth, up 85. I don't know how familiar you are with Georgia.
Not at all.
Yeah, so Raven's Nest is in, I want to say Marietta. It's probably the city, and it's about 45 minutes away from me, so that's kind of out of the way. But yeah, so with Wasteland, it was previously called the Gaming Pit, and then TNT Toys. I've just been a long time player there. It's always been kind of my store of choice. And I just started pushing really heavily with the owners, like, hey, this game, it was after the PTC actually in 2015. I was just like, this game is in a really good state. I wouldn't be coming to you if I didn't believe in this game. I'll run weekly tournaments. I'll do the legwork. Can we use your space? We can choose, what day works for you? What do you guys not have? And then it was like between Tuesday and Sunday, and I was like, okay, well, let's do Tuesday, and then on Sundays I'll come and do demo days to try to, gather interest. So I think as far as it goes to getting backing from a store owner is showing that you're serious about it, and it's not going to be a, hey, buy $600 worth of product, and then I'll show up once every 2 weeks or once every 2 months or something for a tournament, like, and put it on them, because there's a lot of games. Store managers, owners are very busy, so I think showing that you're committed to the game and they can trust that you're going to do it. And that's actually what helped me with Galactic Quest, is because when I went and talked to the owner and manager there, 2 weeks ago, it was, hey, this is what I've done at Wasteland. It's like we have weekly tournaments. We're getting turnouts, ranging from 6 to 12 people. Got like 12 new players into the game the past month. Can we play here? Looking for another day. And same spiel. I'll host the tournaments, whatever you need me to do. Demo days. We did a demo day there, so seems to be a good strategy so far. Or it could be beginner's luck. I don't know, but I think it's just showing that you're serious, and you're not going to leave them hanging.
Yeah. Doing.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I think, yeah.
Doing sales for the past few months for UFS, I get to look at it from the opposite end, so I have a slightly better idea on what stores want. What you're doing is a lot of what stores want. Finding them on the day, their off days, doing the work for them. The biggest thing is just as long as they see players coming in and asking for the game, they'll carry it. If it doesn't matter what game it is, if 20 people show up saying, we want to play My Little Pony, they will have a case of it in the next week. So if you want players to show up to your stores, or if you want store owners to pick up your game, bring in players. Have them say, we want UFS. Just bring in some decks and just start messing around and be like, hey, we'll show up every week and give our money to you. And then the owner will be like, yeah, got it, done.
But see, that works both ways too, though. Like, now if you have a bunch of players showing up and they don't have product, then people are going to lose interest, because it's going to be like, because there's that excitement of like, I love Rochester CGG, don't get me wrong, but I hate waiting in for anything.
So do I.
No, yeah,
like,
having a local game store is crucial. Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, I will really, I'll pay $10 more if I can get it right now, in my hands. So knowing that I can go to a game store and play in a weekly, and I need to pick up a Felicia starter, or I need to pick up a box of Rise of the Masters or a tin or whatever, and knowing that they'll have it there, that brings confidence to me as a player that, like, hey, I want to continue playing here. So I think it's important for the stores to also kind of reciprocate that, right? It's like, I'm going to bring the players, but make sure you bring the product, and we're both happy.
That's why
it's definitely it's a symbiotic relationship. However you got it up, for sure.
And that's why those new players in their new store should contact me, and I'll make sure they get the product.
The same day shipping. You need, like, in hand. I'm gonna make an order at 6 a.m. I want it in my hand at 3. Okay.
I don't think I could do that.
Make it happen. So.
Hey, if Amazon could do it, we could do it, right?
There you go. Have your little drones. Rochester drones.
Hey,
if Wasteland Gaming wants to spend the money for drones, we'll do it.
But yeah, so right now, it's fortunate, have some good partnerships. I would love to have UFS like every day of the week. I can't do it every day of the week, obviously, but if we could get, like a third store, like now we have, Tuesday at Wasteland, we have Friday at Galactic Quest. If we could get another store, like, Thursday or a Saturday or something, and I didn't have to be there, to organize, if somebody else could do it, that would be pretty sweet. But I would love to have that everyday UFS option, which would be fantastic. I think.
Like, speaking of something like that, like not being able to show up and run it, what do you think some of the challenges are to just building up UFS playgroups and the game in general? Like, the main judge not being able to show up all the time, I know is one issue sometimes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that, I mean, it's, a lot of I think one clear challenge is just that getting enough people interested in the game and getting them, if you're demoing at a game store where there's already kind of a thriving community, can be difficult to get people away from Magic or from other games that they already play, because there are a lot of games, as we've alluded to a few times, there's a lot of games in the marketplace now, and all of them, everyone really likes the games that they play because,
Yeah.
it's a great time to be a gamer.
Yeah.
And that's why the free cards are so great, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's a fun game, and it's like, hey, here's some cards. They're commons, uncommons. They're great. Cards are cheap. Most expensive card you're probably not going to be able to find anyway. It's 40, 50 bucks. So just Roll Trinity guys are off the table or whatever. But relatively, it's a cheap game. You can
Absolutely.
build a deck out of commons and uncommons, and then go to Rochester CCG, pick up whatever rares you want, a few bucks, and
Yeah, and even
come
with just
up
commons and uncommons, you can play the game in UFS.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not
Absolutely.
like you need to like if you're playing with common and uncommon creatures, like all your spells cost 6, so that you can't even like sit down against a mono red deck, so they'll like kill you before you can cast anything. You can like attack, like people play common and uncommon attacks in tournament decks. They're staples in a lot of cases.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And then the promos, right? And I think that's what's so great about having those weekly events, because it's really funny. I was talking to Andy yesterday, and he's been to every single tournament plus multiple demo days, right? I mean he's a great guy, really smart Magic player. He's going to be something serious in UFS. A lot of his deck lists are posted on Super Aragon Brothers, but we're talking and he's just like, Summer Heat is so good, and I almost have like 2 play sets now. I think I have 7. I'm like, that's because we have weekly events. It's so great, So it's like not only can you have build a deck with commons and uncommons, but then you have promos, and the promos are good. Like I would have loved to have a weekly event when Curse Splat was a thing,
Oh yeah.
it
Splat's a
would
nice
be nice.
card.
It's fantastic. It's such a good card.
So
I'm not sure if answered your question or not. But
we answered a little bit. We'll get back to it in a moment, but apparently Sean is in the stream is in our chat. So say hi to Sean.
Hey, Sean.
He
I thought I said no interviews.
yeah. I'd add him, but I don't know how to add him without it looking really weird for the people watching.
Oh yeah, I can see the stream setup is frames of the screen.
Yeah. One day I'll be able to smoothly transition it like that, but as for today, Sean will sit in the peanut gallery.
Okay. Well, Sean, while you're there, thank you for reaching out to me, and this is awesome. This is a good experience.
He apparently said no interviews, so
no interviews.
I shouldn't have done this apparently, after he expressly told me to do this.
He's trolling you, Matt. You're getting trolled.
I know.
I'm not sure Sean knows what trolling means, because I know Garrett doesn't, but he's trolling you. Intentionally or not.
But yeah, I think another big challenge, like we already went over it already, but just getting that store owner to finally commit to carrying products, because Magic it'll overturn immediately. If a store puts in $1,000 for pre-order stuff, they're gonna make their money back and profit immediately that weekend. UFS, they might break even and then have some products sit there that might be there for a while, depending on how big your store is with players.
So actually, maybe one of the challenges to really growing up the UFS play group that kind of ties into what you were saying with finding someone who would run an event when you're not available on a third night of the week, or on just in general, is maybe it's finding people like kind of finding people with the passion who will then go out and do demo days, who will go out and run events, And we found it in ourselves to be on a weekly talk show, to run demo days, to build tons of decks, and we can kind of like push people in that direction, saying, here, like, let me help you, learn the rules of the game. Let me help you build a deck. But then
Right.
if it's up to them to like turn it over to the next level, we'll like go out and help other people, with that themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's what's going to be key to the game growing is the stores taking ownership in it as well, and knowing that, okay, we may not have demo days. Like if somebody comes in on a Tuesday or let's say a Thursday and asks about UFS, it's yeah, you could say, okay, hey, we're having demo days on Sunday. Come out, you can learn how to play. But it's another thing to be like, hey, you know what? Our staff also knows how to play. We
Yeah.
can we can step away for 10 minutes and they can show as well. So
Yeah.
not just having one person doing it. So I think you know it's important for the community to reach out to the store owners and say, hey, we support you and you're not alone in this. We're going to help you move product, help you advertise, but also what we need from you is we need you to have product in stock, so when I show somebody how to play and they're like, okay, where can I get cards? Well, if there's not cards here, then I'm gonna say, oh, you can order them on Rochester CCG, and it's okay, another thing to do later when I get home, make an
Yeah.
order, don't know what to
Oh,
buy.
yeah, yeah.
So, want to have the product available and support, and but yeah, it's just but and it takes time, I think, so I
No,
think
for
it's going to
sure.
be heavy lifting for the community at first.
Mhm.
But then I think once something is established and once these licenses, kick off, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Cowboy Bebop, I think there's be a lot of excitement. Which leads me to my next thing. I think with store owners, and I haven't gotten this question yet, but I know I will as I keep asking, is because word is spreading that Street Fighter's coming, Mortal Kombat's coming, Cowboy Bebop's coming. Well, I know the questions are gonna come when.
When?
All right,
Yeah.
so what are the release dates on this? Like I know that the next Magic sets are gonna drop, this
Yeah,
month, this month,
literal
this month,
years in
and this month.
advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, so Mortal Kombat, is that happening this fall? It's like no. So I wanna. I think it would be great to have those, even if it's not to the day, but at least like a
An actual
month.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, something, and I think that would help with the confidence of the store owners. We're like, hey, all right, I can pre-order this now. I know that Street Fighter is going to drop in April, and good to go.
Yeah. Like
So
Yeah,
that's.
that's I think that the relationship between the publishers of UFS and store owners, I think that that could definitely be a weakness of the game right now,
Definitely.
because for a long, I mean, way back in the past, obviously Fantasy Flight dropped the game on the floor and said, "Hey guys, we're dropping a set. We're not telling anyone, but 3 days later, no, that set's worth this now." And then Jasco Games had ongoing struggles getting sets out on time and getting a consistent release schedule going. They'll have fits and starts where they get a couple sets in the queue, but then you know then the tins will be delayed interminably. And I think that's a big challenge for Jasco Games to try to address. And I absolutely agree with you that it would be, these questions are gonna come, and if we can get a good answer for them, if we can tell them here's what it is and then deliver on that, that could be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
yeah, I think 2016 will be a super strong year if it's like Street Fighter's dropping this month, Mortal Kombat's this month, Cowboy Bebop this month, and boom, 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 hit all those. I think stores will be like, all right,
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
big make or break. Like Jasco Games, they've been getting better. They communicate with their players very well. Um, what is Sean saying? Okay, whatever. But they communicate very well with their players, but stores they need to work on, and just if they can actually commit and get all those things out, it'll take off very well. But as of right now, I don't like having to tell people, it's like, oh, when's Street Fighter coming? Hopefully when Street Fighter 5 comes out. That's the plan. Are we getting another set this year? Hopefully.
So,
Is the
but
next set Red Horizon or Mega Man? I don't know.
and Jasco's, they've done a really great job. Recently it's like, with the tins. I just, sometimes I just sit there and look at all my cards and I'm just like, wow, with Jasco here I have, Darkstalkers, I have Mega Man, I have King of Fighters, Street Fighter promo, they have these tin products everywhere, and like starter decks, and and it's just like, wow, how cool is this that this small company picked up UFS, and like Kevin, like you mentioned, I mean, Fantasy Flight really did give it a bad name, and these store owners, they have a bad taste in their mouth because UFS was sitting on their clearance table, not even moving at the clearance table. Like you have
Yeah.
these, like, Soul Calibur sets or whatever that aren't moving. So then, trying to get a store owner to pick it up again. Their UFS. Oh, I know that game, but 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 yeah, Jasco's done a tremendous job of. There's just so much product out there, and it's available, and stores can pick it up and sell it. I think it definitely hasn't been. Um, uh, I don't think there's been any issues at Wasteland. I think they're sold out of everything. I think the only thing they have right now is a Red Horizon booster box.
Sounds like they should be contacting me. We
Yeah,
should work
maybe.
on this. But that's for the tail end of our show.
These problems
Yeah.
we can fix.
It's at the tail end of the show where I
Yeah,
get
no.
to tell you all the things that I'm going to be telling them, and you can tell them as well.
Sure. You know I support you.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely the problem. Other end with Jasco games, it's not only with UFS did Fantasy Flight burn a bunch of stores. There's also for a lot of stores, if like the owner doesn't like actively invest in the gaming community in general and go and look for products, like if they're just stores like we carry Magic, Vanguard, Yu-Gi-Oh, that's it. They don't know that UFS even exists. So that's the other half of the problem is like there's a small section of stores where they know what UFS is and they're willing to carry it, and they carry it right now. There's the large group that's burned and doesn't want to care about it anymore. Maybe they'll change their minds. And then there's a larger group.
Titanic group.
Yeah.
That just doesn't know.
Yeah.
And I think, and you're absolutely right that I think the Jasco Games has done a lot of great work, and being able to sell it not as the Universal Fighting System, which no one knows what that means, but as the Mega Man game, the Street Fighter game, the Mortal Kombat game, the Cowboy Bebop game. They'll be like, huh, I watched that show in the 90s. What's up with that? But the Darkstalkers game, the King of Fighters game, that's incredibly that's great, because those are names that if you follow gaming, if you follow anything.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's with that large group of stores that aren't aware of that UFS exists. I mean, that's where us as a community really come in. It's kind of kick and scream. Like anybody who'll listen, UFS is a thing. Like Mega Man, Darkstalkers.
The issue for those stores that don't have any players at all at the moment, but could. They don't know about it at all. Like I kind of wish like the old magazines like Inquest and Scry, I wish those still existed, because store owners would read those. That would be their main way for the information. If they didn't go, if they didn't go to Gen Con or Origins or something, they'd read those magazines every month, and you'd hear about new games or games that are doing well there. Now it's like, for the most part, it's either players, because of the access of the internet and everything, either players come to you, or you have to actively go and look it up on the internet yourself. There's no way we can just like Jasco Games. Yeah.
Well, there is another way. So let's say we get a news story on Kotaku about the Mega Man board game. Lots of game store owners go on Kotaku.
Do they though? Do they?
And
I doubt Travis does.
Well, sure, but I mean, then they look at the Southern Distribution catalog and they say, "Oh, hey, UFS."
Yeah.
You know. And I think that this is an interesting area to look at, because if we think about, the great mass of people who have been introduced to the gospel of UFS, they hang out on the internet, and if we have, shows like this on Twitch.tv, if we have shows on YouTube like the Super Aragon Brothers and blogs out there, then that gives those people an in. I know, Fernando, you said that you watch, you follow tons of Magic coverage. I'm a huge Magic coverage geek, and I barely even play that game. Like, I owned a deck 4 years ago, I think, in Standard.
Yeah.
But I know all kinds of crap about Magic just because it's interesting to read about.
Mhm.
And, if we, the content producers, put that out there, that
Absolutely.
that alone helps grow the game, because that alone, there'll be people who, just
Yeah.
go check it out and say, okay, let me go to my game store and try to find out if I can play.
Yep. I think that's the great thing, because all right, so you have a new game store. You see the UFS product, you see the Mega Man game or something. Okay, so you go home. Next step. All right, I want to Google what this UFS is. To have a Google search where there's just content, the community, Jasco, everything. It builds, again, that builds the confidence of, hey, this is a thing. You know, I need help building my first deck. Oh, here's deck lists. Um, so yeah, I agree. The content. I mean, what you guys are doing with this show and is awesome. Total Justice Gaming, obviously, it's been. Yeah, I was watching Total Justice Gaming, when I barely even knew what was going on, in 2013 with the game. So yeah, it's like you guys are like celebrities to me. Just once, it's like, oh my god, I was at Gen Con. I was like. It's like I'm at Comic Con, It's like, oh, here's the world champ, and oh, it's Joe Tonello. I love your work. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I've actually
so,
started getting that this year. Like, I kind of have notoriety
yeah,
now. Hmm,
yeah,
this
it's
is
really
this is kind of
neat.
bad.
Yeah, and that's I met you. I was just like, wow, it's like I really do feel like like I'm meeting celebrities. So, but no, the content is crucial. I noticed that, gosh, what was it? Legendary Wolf. I saw that they posted an article the other day, and I hope they continue to do that. I mean, the more articles we can get out
Yeah,
there, the better. I just love reading. I love watching videos, and I know gamers love doing that. So,
yeah. I'd much
Yeah.
rather have too much to read than
yeah.
nothing to read at all.
If we're shouting out to content creators, big shout outs to Toy Soldiers, the Calgarian player who I don't think can travel to
Yes.
many tournaments. His deck techs are incredible.
Hmm.
I've watched them and said, wow, that's like, I remember the Felicia Luminous Illusion deck. Like, holy crap, that's insane. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Joe
like
Hill
that
Yeah.
also.
sounds sweeter than half of the decks I build with ultra rares. Come on.
Yeah, and
Um,
and a testament of how powerful that is. There was, I think it was maybe our third week of doing these weeklies, and there was a new group of players. They went and picked up a few starter decks on demo day and bought some packs of Rise of the Masters. And then on Tuesday they came and played, and one of the players was like, "Hey, I have this deck list. I'm trying to build it. It's this Dr. Wily list." And I'm looking at the list, and I was like, did you get this off of YouTube? And it's like, yeah. And literally, that guy had posted it like maybe 4 days before.
Mhm.
And it's just like, this is so powerful because here I am helping
Wait a
this
minute.
player build this deck that I was like, how did you find out about this? She's like, well, I just Googled on YouTube. And that's exactly what players do. And it's just so powerful to know that. Um, and I encourage people, put your deck list out there. It doesn't matter if people are going to say, why aren't you playing this or why are you playing that? Hey, it's something,
yeah.
put it out there.
No,
But yeah,
I
that
think that the depth and complexity of deck building is one of the greatest strengths and the greatest challenges of UFS. There's so much, like, the reason I'm still here is that there's so much depth to how you build your deck and how you play the game, and all of the math you can do, and how it's not even enough to do all the math, because there's so much more of layers of interactions and everything. And
yeah,
I think that it's having just like, here's an entry point and here's an introduction to what you can do with different, I think what they do is incredible, because they're doing it all with this tight constraint,
yeah,
and with these starter decks, and saying, yeah, here's an introduction to what, like, to the power you can get out of just these cards in UFS, and to what you can do in all these
yeah.
different ways.
I should probably start recording and doing more deck list things for Total Justice Gaming / Top Deck.
You should.
Yeah. Man.
Like,
You know, I remember at one point I said, you haven't built a deck in like 3 weeks," and you said, "Well, yeah, I have, but I took them all apart because I didn't like them." Like those could totally just go on Total Justice Gaming.
yeah, I should just when
Yeah.
I do that, put the decks together, talk about them, and then if I don't play them, well, they're there for people to look at.
Yeah, I know. Even if I end up not liking a deck, I can usually talk for 20 minutes about a deck. I can usually like write 1,000 words about my deck. Because you have 60 cards, but you have thousands of possibilities.
Like
Yeah.
that's what
How many
Jeff.
cards are in standard right
That's
now?
what like Jeff and other people get right now is they get the deck ideas of just like I'm not gonna get around to building this. Here, try this. This kind of fits your playstyle.
Yeah, by Ultra's count, there are 814 cards in standard.
Wow.
I'm not going to do the combinatorics for you, but that is a lot of possible decks. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of decks.
It's a lot. And the thing is, so you may put a list out there that maybe it's not that good. You're just, throwing out a list of Eva, you know what I mean? Eva promo, and you just throw it out there. But you know what? It may spark something in somebody, it might spark a thought in somebody else who reads it. Okay, you know what? I don't think they have an interaction, but I don't think they see the full picture. Let me take it to the next level type thing. So it's just, again, it's, who
Ava's
knows?
bad though.
No, I'm gonna make her work. Somebody's gonna make her work.
He was awesome. Are you kidding me?
There probably
picture
is
Gemini.
something for her.
Picture Gemini Man. Only he doesn't have to draw Gemini Man to be insane on defense.
Yeah.
And he does he can just go in on you on turn 2 and you just die. She's
But
awesome.
I think she's
after
better
5
than-
attacks, you've milled yourself.
Who says you got to play 60 cards?
Number 1. Number 2, deck yourself so you can fool me twice. Number 3, who doesn't die in 5 attacks?
Do it.
All right,
Go build it.
there's a challenge.
Hey,
Kevin,
hey,
I want to be
alright.
on your next speed dating show, okay? We're going to talk Eva.
So Hughes, I remember you liked something I had done with my Gemini Man deck where I was playing Malice in Mine and Beautiful Memory.
Mhm.
You want to talk about a Malice in Mine Beautiful Memory deck? Let's talk about Ava. She goes MM copy stun to you, 6 mid 5, then she gets 1 more damage on that somewhere, and now all of a sudden that Beautiful Memory is going to be a 7 mid for 13 that taps one of your cards.
Yeah.
Huh?
Let's see it. I mean, I'm not saying it's completely awful. Like she's not like Billy bad.
She has challenges. You can see them as she's
Her
bad
art,
because she
her
has
art
challenges,
is
or
one
she
of
has
those challenges.
Oh no, I love Lady Gaga. Come on,
All
I
right,
haven't. She hasn't done any music in a while, but
we're almost running
I'm
out of
not her
time.
babe. I don't know if you guys know.
We're almost running out of time, and I have something else I need to bring up. So, you guys got
Do you have
any
any
other
last thoughts
comments?
on UFS, Fernando.
Yeah, how to grow it, how good it is.
No, I feel like I've probably rambled too much. But no, my biggest advice is just do it. Just talk about it. Anybody who'll listen, UFS. UFS.
I just
UFS.
want you to know. You said just do it. The other day, I decided what my champ card art my character is going to be, and it's
Do
going to
it!
be the Shia LaBeouf.
Oh,
The-
nice.
The
If I were good,
Do
that
it.
would be playing right now on the screen for people. But
Nice.
all right, so gotta do my little spiel before the end here. Trying to get more since we're trying to grow UFS. I'm as my job trying to get more stores to carry UFS. So if anyone has a store they would like to contact, they would like to get UFS, just contact me at mhughes@rochesterccg.com. Or if you're in Canada, cbadger@rochesterccg.com. But if you contact me for UFS, and your store actually does an order of a decent amount of product, I will send you a White Templar, like what's shown on the screen here, personally, for helping me get it set up. And for the stores themselves, we have a couple of new things we're doing. The first order that a store does when they sign up for us, we're doing a buyback guarantee. If that order does not sell within 6 months, they can sell back to us at a refund all the cards that didn't sell, and then they could just bow out. We don't think that'll happen because UFS is awesome, but we're offering that.
Yeah, that's kind of to try to patch up the relationship. To say,
Yeah.
It's been
This
a risk
isn't
in the
gonna sit on
past.
your-
You might have been
Yep.
burned, but we're gonna make sure you're not burned.
We're
This
not
time.
gonna let you get burned this time. And
Yep.
then
This is not going to sit on your clearance table.
Yeah.
This will go back into your bank account.
And then new stores will get a bonus playmat for every $100 they spend. I believe it's their choice. It's in the catalog when I sent to them. So if you get your store, you could be like, hey, you get this playmat for free that I will buy from you right away. And then now through December, free shipping for stores that order $400 or more in the U.S. So
How about players that buy over $400 in singles? Can we get free shipping?
you gotta talk to Sean about that. I mean, it's probably if he does it for stores, but
No promises.
I don't handle
but-
singles, so I can't guarantee that. So that's my
We
spiel.
certainly
for
like when you
tonight.
buy a lot of cards.
So that's my spiel for tonight. So go find a store, get them to carry UFS with us. The more stores, the better. We want to make sure that players can get their products, and we want to make sure that all the brick and mortar stores are actually playing UFS again. And then speaking of playing UFS, I've got a
Got
few.
some announcements.
Yeah, we got the announcements for all the
Wanna
events
take
coming
care of
up.
these? All right, so
Yeah, you can do
I'll
that.
take care of these.
Okay.
So we got the St. Louis Pro Tour coming up on the weekend of August 29th and 30th. That's the weekend after this one. I had said that I was going to be going to this one, but I'm afraid I'm terrible at logistics, so I'm going to back out. But I do intend to post the deck I was going to play because it's freaking sweet, and I'm going to do it justice in the write-up I give it.
What character?
I'm duo long, baby,
Oh boy.
because milling people and having we were talking about Nevos earlier. It turns out Nevos is a 3-speed high is a lot better than Nevos is a 2-speed mid. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Then next month we have another Pro Tour. This time in Michigan, in Warren, Michigan, specifically at Eternal Games. It's the last weekend of the month again, the 26th and the 27th. Continuing the Pro Tour chain every month. This is the second. This is actually the fourth weekend still. So, but not the last weekend. The last weekend's the 31st in Poughkeepsie. I don't believe it's at Dragon's Den anymore.
Yep,
Right?
it's not Dragon's Den. It is at Champion Card Collector, which is
A
still
new
in Poughkeepsie. They're about 5 minutes away. On
a
Vassar
new store
Road.
that picked up the game, and they actually have a box of Neomax in stock. So if you want to get a leg up in this tournament, you should head down to Poughkeepsie right now and buy that box of Neomax off their shelf.
I think they're actually going to do a special tournament for it.
Yeah,
Just winner take all.
got them. I mean, why not? That's pretty sweet. And that's the weekend of the 24th and the 25th down in Poughkeepsie. And then finally, only 2 weeks after that, if let's say if you have some friends in the upstate New York area and for some reason have 2 weeks of vacation lying around, I guess, you can, bunk over here and come to the Rochester CCG 2K event, not a Pro Tour, but with the largest purse of prizes guaranteed to be at least $2,000 in prizes paid out the weekend of the 7th and the 8th in November up in Rochester. There will also be free beer, amenities, garbage plates after the tournament. It's going to be a great time.
It's going to be Whirly Ball.
Yeah, we
Whirly Ball and
recently
laser tag.
yeah there's recently an entertainment center or I don't even know what to call it, an
Gaming-
adult
fun
playhouse
center.
in
That's wrong.
the least sexual form of that.
I was about to say, I was like, you know what? I was getting ready to say, I'm going to try to take 2 weeks off. Now I'm not sure.
But they have, so we have a new place open where you can play a variant on Whirly Ball, which is basically go-karts combined with lacrosse, and also laser tag, arcade games, nachos, beer, all around everything you could want in an afternoon.
And then,
On top of the UFS, of course.
in addition to the plenty of hotels around here for the people that are going out a bit, there's also Sean and I can each hold a couple of people. So if you want to reserve your spot for staying at our houses for free, just let us know.
Like I said, if you have friends in the Rochester area,
Yeah.
we will be your friends. Not me, but Sean and Hughes.
Nice.
I want as
Yeah,
many
I'm
people as
Gotta make
possible.
that.
So I'm gonna make sure that there's plenty of room in my house. We can have a little UFS party if it comes down to it. I want to get every single UFS player I've ever met here.
I think
That's a little much.
Yeah.
no,
Okay. Every single one that's still playing.
I think that's a great vision though. I mean these 2K events, I think this is the future. You know, like these are
Absolutely.
just big. I think of like Star City, right? You know,
Yeah,
they
this
have
is how
the
Star City
5Ks.
started.
Yeah, I mean, Star City started with the Power 9 tournaments, I think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, and then like 1K, 2K, or whatever. So, I mean, this is great for the game. I'm super excited. Thanks guys for putting that on. The PTCs are amazing, but I think those 2K events, and even if it's not 2K, even if it's a 1K or something, but just more tournaments where people can go to.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
More gatherings of UFS players. I mean, tournaments are obviously where we all like to go, but just more people playing the game is the best thing.
And more weeklies. Everybody start weeklies.
Yeah, everyone
Yep.
play weeklies.
Weeklies
Come
everywhere.
Show up for your weeklies. Don't be like me, who may not play Friday, but no, I'll probably still play anyways.
You're playing Crash Man.
No,
Come
I'm
on.
not.
No.
Sean never posted anything to officiate
You're playing Crash
that.
Man.
No, I'm not.
You wanted to play Crash Man.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to play Cutman.
You didn't want to play Cutman badly enough. You wanted to play Crash Man.
Let's finish this after the show. Let's wrap it up. People don't need to hear us arguing at each other.
They need to hear that you're playing Crash Man. I think people would be excited to know that Crash Man is competitively viable.
I know that there's a lot of people who would want to read an article that convinces them that he's viable.
I'll play Dimitri.
But
Dimitri's good.
But he's S tier. What are you talking about?
Is
Play
he?
Crash Man.
He's like double F tier.
He got second place at teams. Devin Bernier put him in second place in S
Okay.
tier, along with Jiffany Jamper and Skullman.
Yep. No, I'm saying Crash Man's double F tier. Anyways.
Oh yeah, Crash Man's terrible.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. All we have today. Fernando, thank you for coming on the show and replacing Sean. It was a much more
thank you for
comfortable
having
show because of it.
Thank you for having me. I had fun. We gotta talk more.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on, Fernando. Thanks for coming.
Yep. And thank you everyone who watched tonight. And we will